Mission Control, this is Mars Base 1, ready to receive visitors from Earth.
Command your own mission to Mars. Travel 35 million miles through hyperspace and walk on the surface of the red planet. With lasers, robots, and talking computers at your fingertips, you can be an astronaut and explore the mysteries of this alien world. Command your own mission to Mars.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the voice of Mission Control. We are currently awaiting the next scheduled transmission from our team of astronauts now in orbit around the planet Mars. Capcom reports that the astronauts were awakened at 0330 hours local Mars time, just hours prior to inserting into Martian orbit. The astronauts are in good spirits and are now ready to attempt the first manned landing on the surface of Mars. For those of you not familiar with the Mission to Mars project, it began 3 years ago with the launch of the first of 14 heavy lift launch vehicles. Each of these specially designed spacecraft carried into space station orbit all the components that would comprise the Discovery, the international interplanetary spacecraft that would carry the brave astronauts the 38 million miles from Earth to Mars. After the heavy lift vehicles placed their payloads into low Earth orbit, space-based astronauts began to assemble the various parts. It was during the assembly phase that some 3,000 applicants were being tested and evaluated at the astronaut selection office. Only a handful of specialists would actually make the trip to Mars, so each of the applicants underwent rigorous physical and psychological testing. It was extremely important to make sure that the astronauts selected for this historic mission had the right stuff. After narrowing the field down to 100 of the highest qualified individuals, the flight instructors began their in-depth training. Each of the remaining applicants studied additional math and science courses. They spent hours working and training in simulators. Each of the candidates had to be taught how to work, how to eat, how to sleep, how to wash, even how to bathe in a microgravity environment. As part of their hygiene training, instructors even taught many of the applicants how to use the restroom in space. With the basic astronaut training completed and the field narrowed to just a handful of finalists, the remaining flight crew was flown to a mock base in Antarctica, where they completed the last 6 weeks of their mission training. Once the training was finished and the assembly of the Discovery had been completed, the Mission to Mars crew was flown to the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where they boarded a shuttle and were launched into orbit to rendezvous with the Discovery. Once there, the crew would supervise the loading of cargo and the fueling of the interplanetary spacecraft. With the fueling complete and after an exhaustive checkout of all the ship's vital systems, the crew was sealed inside, the hatches secured, and the spacecraft slowly moved away from space station. Later, Mission Control would give the go-ahead to activate the 2 main engines to initiate the trans-Mars cruise. The Discovery, over 6 football fields in length and nearly 650 metric tons of the most sophisticated and automated equipment ever produced by man, was designed to serve as the home for the astronauts during their 314-day outbound trip to Mars, and also for the 224-day return trip at the conclusion of the mission. The vehicle itself was launched when Earth and Mars were nearing opposition. This is the point where the 2 planets come closest together. It occurs only once every 2 years and will allow the astronauts just 90 days to conduct their surface research. At the end of that period, the crew must lift off the Martian surface, rendezvous with the Discovery, and initiate the main engine start to return back home. If the engines fail, or if the crew cannot lift off in time, the astronauts will find themselves marooned on Mars until the next opposition 2 years later. We do want to take this moment and remind our viewers that two-way communications with the astronauts is impossible. Because Mars is 38 million miles away from us, the radio signals that will be carrying video images from Mars will take just under 10 minutes to travel one way across this vast distance. With this in mind, the scientists here at the Mission Control Center can do little more than be observers. If there's any problems, the crew will have to work together as a team to solve them. During their last radio transmission, the astronauts sent this color photo of the primary landing site. Flight controllers here at the Mission Control Center have reviewed this data and just a few minutes ago transmitted the separation go command. This command gives the astronauts the go-ahead to board the descent vehicle, to separate from the Discovery, and to begin their descent to the surface of Mars. The descent vehicle, which will be called Mars Base 1 upon landing, has been stocked with all the equipment and supplies necessary to sustain the astronauts for their 90-day surface stay. Additional supplies are available on board the Discovery and can be piloted down by remote control in the event of an emergency. Now again, according to the mission plan, there are several major events scheduled for this, the very first day of surface exploration. There is, of course, the actual landing, and later we hope to bring you live coverage of the very first Mars walk. Now in just a few moments, if all goes well, the crew will board the descent vehicle and will initiate the final countdown. At a designated time, the descent vehicle will separate from the Discovery and will enter the Martian atmosphere. At a predetermined altitude above the planet's surface, the aerobraking shield, a modified heat shield used to reduce the heat plasma buildup during the friction of atmospheric entry, will be released. And it's at this point that the commander and the mission pilot will release computer control and will manually land the vehicle on the planet's surface. Upon landing, the crew will immediately check out their equipment for any damage and then, of course, begin their scientific research. For the astronauts, the crew of Mars Base 1, they'll find that Mars, out of all the planets in the solar system, is the planet that is indeed most like Earth. In a direct comparison, they will find that Mars is half the size of the Earth, and surface gravity on Mars is 38% of Earth normal. So the astronauts will find that they weigh 1/3 of their normal Earth weight. And comparing some of the geologic features, the crew will find that there are many striking similarities. Mars, just like the Earth, has a number of interesting features. The planet has mountains. It has valleys, massive volcanoes, huge and complex canyon systems. The planet has what appear to be ancient, dried-up riverbeds. And perhaps most striking, and most similar to Earth, Mars also has polar ice caps. And yet, with all these similarities, it will be important for the Mission to Mars crew to remember that Mars is still a dangerous and a hostile world. The planet has an extremely thin atmosphere and virtually no oxygen. The planet, believe it or not, is bitter cold, averaging nearly 70 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit during the day and plunging several hundred degrees below 0 each night. Mars is also prone to severe and sometimes violent dust storms. These storms can generate wind speeds that easily exceed 250 kilometers per hour, winds that can blow the fine Martian dust high into the thin air, blocking out sunlight for sometimes up to several months at a time. In addition, due to the extremely low atmospheric pressure, liquid water simply does not exist on the Martian surface. In fact, because the air pressure on Mars is over 150 times less dense than that of Earth, liquids, including human blood, literally boil away when exposed to the Martian environment. And yet, with all these hazards, Mars is the next great frontier, the next place that humans will call home. Again, the hopes are extremely high here at the Mission Control Center for this, the very first manned Mars mission. The flight director now indicates that there are no glitches at this time and that all systems are go. The flight surgeon, after reviewing the latest biomedical data, reports that the crew is in good shape and are now fit to continue with the next phase of this historic mission. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just received word from Capcom that we are now receiving a transmission. This transmission coming to us live and direct from the planet Mars. At this point, we switch our cameras to the onboard flight recorder inside the descent vehicle. As you can see, we're looking at the starboard side.
All right, astronauts, welcome to Mars Base 1. Our executive officer, if I can have the communications microphone, please.
Now, we are ready to land. In just a second, bless you, I will ask the pilot to step up here. She's been practicing for months. And I'm sure we all remember the accident in Antarctica. We don't even have to bring it up because I'm sure she'll do a much better landing this time. Won't you, ma'am? Of course you will. Come on up, please. This is your station. From this station, the pilot and I will control all functions. Have a seat, ma'am. Wonderful, ma'am. First thing we need to do, we need to go over our latest information. Here you go. Now, right here we've got, let's see, we've got the primary landing site, the weather there, the secondary landing site, weather there. Wonderful. We've got the checklist. I've already done the first 10 steps. You need to finish this page. Then you need to go through this page. And when you're done with that, let's go over the map again. There's your primary landing site, secondary landing site right up there. Great. And then you got the new manual, which you got to go through, a new program manual. You got to go through 37 pages long. You got, well, I'd say 5 seconds. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay. Ready to go, ma'am? Show everybody. Do it astronaut style. Give them all a big thumbs up. I said big thumbs up, ma'am. That's better. Training for thousands of hours on the Sega simulator. Where are you going? Just put my hand on your shoulder. Have a seat. Very good try. Very good try. Ma'am, what I need you to do first, I need you to transfer the power from the lighting systems, the observation scientific stations to our main engine. Go right ahead. Ma'am, the red button right there. Wonderful. Now, we've got established communications with Discovery. You hear them in the background. Ma'am, you need to contact the Discovery. Let them know we're ready for the oxygen umbilical retraction and magnetic dock release. Tell them we're ready. Push down the thumb. Tell them we're ready.
Ready.
Wonderful. Nice, short, concise, and sweet. There we go. Discovery's got it all copied. We are ready to launch. The computer will control the first part of our descent. We will cover down to about 211 miles above the planetary surface, at which point the computer will release control to our pilot. She'll bring us in for a safe landing. Right? She's confident. She's secure. She's ready to go. And we've discussed this before. In order for us to do this, we have to have a countdown. This is a historic landing. You'll lead everybody in the countdown, right? Wonderful. At my mark, you start off at 10 seconds. Ready? Mark. 10, 9, 8, 7. All right, we're powering up the main engines, ma'am. Grab the joystick. And we're getting ready. Release. No, ma'am, you take the joystick. We're now hovering 211 miles above the planetary surface. Everything looks nominal. Ma'am, let's release computer controls. There. Wonderful. Now do me a favor, bring us around to the left. Great. We're first going to pass over the Valles Marineris, take us straight down the canyon system right here. Wonderful. Bring us down just a little bit lower, too. Valles Marineris, this system of canyons is over 3,000 miles long. On Earth, it would stretch from San Diego, California to New York City. In places, it's 500 miles wide, 5 miles deep. Great, ma'am. Take us off. Bring us back around to the right. We're going to go through the Tharsis region. There. Looking for these 3 shield volcanoes. Each of these shield volcanoes is more than twice the height of Mount Everest. Volcanoes grow a lot larger on Mars because of the low Martian gravity. Ma'am, bring us down a little bit lower as we cross this plain, okay? Wonderful, wonderful. If you look on the plain, you'll see a lot of impact craters from meteorites. Meteorites come straight down through the Martian atmosphere, strike Mars because the atmosphere is very thin, and it's 1/150th that of Earth's. In Earth's atmosphere, most meteorites burn up, don't strike the planet. Can't say that up here on Mars. Ma'am, doing wonderfully. Great. Do me a favor, bring us off to the right. Come in for our final landing place. Ma'am, I said the right. Where are you going? You're taking us down the canyon system. No, ma'am, we're too low. Pull us up a little bit, please. Pull us up. No, there's a ridge. Pull it up! I feel much better now. Ma'am, let's go over the Tharsis region again. Arsia Mons, the first of those 3. Pavonis Mons, and Ascraeus Mons. Now, these are not the largest volcanoes on Mars. That's Olympus Mons. Olympus Mons would cover an area equal to the state of Arizona. Very large. Ma'am, you're doing great. Nice joyride. Just park it here, okay? Wonderful. Great. Okay. I feel much better now. Powering down the engines. Now, ma'am, done an excellent landing job. Last step, you need to turn the power back from the main engines back to our lighting, science, and observation stations. Remember the button? Hey, good job. Okay. Excellent job. Everybody give her a big round of applause. Thank you, ma'am. Going back to your spot. Do you hear the words out of her mouth? Yes. Okay. Before I release in your science stations, I need everyone to check over your ID tag. If you are wearing a white ID tag, you are going to be working down the port wing to my left. If you're wearing a blue ID tag, you're going to be working down the starboard wing to my right. The names are above each station. That's how you'll find it. Now, the only station you want to find down the starboard wing, the blue EVAs are right here next to me. All right, I release you to your stations. Turn on your overhead lights. Power up your stations. Put all your personal effects on your stools. Let's go, folks.
Okay, how do you read me now?
All right, communications team, guess what? I have your microphone right here. You're the reporter, aren't you? Why not? You're standing. You're going to make Kirby the reporter? Wonderful. Reporter, I need to talk to you first. I have here your microphone. Not only does it transmit across the entire Mars Base 1 system, but it also sends everything you say directly to the video recorder monitor, right here. Everything you say gets recorded. You control what happens here, all right? When you're interviewing people, make sure they're always facing the camera. Camera 2, starboard wing camera's right here. Camera 1, port side, it's on the exact opposite spot on the other side of Mars Base. Right now it's centered on the command module. EVA camera, the third view, it only is good for when the people are outside on the surface of Mars. You will not go outside to interview people, okay? I'm sure that's a real bummer, but we need you inside instead. Your camera operator right here will control which view is being used. Make sure you follow your reporter around at all times. Keep her in sight. Director. Director, your job. Make sure your camera operator is following. Reporter, telling your reporter where to go, and more importantly, what questions to ask the people at the stations. I want everybody interviewed during this mission at least 2 times. Got that? To do this, you need a radio. There you go. Plugs in right here. You have a voice-activated microphone. When you want to speak to your reporter, you must speak in a full sentence or she will not hear you. Understood? Wonderful. Reporter, this is your radio system. The belt goes around your waist with the radio still attached, ma'am. That's it. That's it. Now, turn it on. There. You will use this radio to talk back to him. You do not have a microphone on your radio system, okay? So when you need to talk back to him, use this microphone, all right? What? Yeah, that's how he talks to you. Try it out. Make sure it works. Speak into the microphone, sir. She's not going to hear you unless you... Okay, it's only on this side. No, you will not. He will not hear you back over that. As I said, told you before, when you need to talk back to him, use this microphone here.
Yes.
Wonderful. Sounds like you're ready to go. Everybody gets interviewed 2 times during the mission.
Do I walk around? Sir. Do I walk around?
Yes, you'll be walking around and talking to people.
Okay. Who do I interview? Do you hear me? Yeah. Do you know what you are doing? I'm talking to Pat. I'm talking to Pat. Who? I found him. What? I'm in port wing. What? Okay. I am now with Ricky. Do you copy? What? Andy. What? Biology. What? Okay. Tyler got medical. No. I'm at medical. She's finding me with the camera. Does everybody get to wear the spacesuit? Why just 2 people? Oh, no, after. They are. I can't hear. Did she find me? Yes, I can. Did Vanessa find me? Okay. Where? I am at medical with Tyler. Where do I go now? I am now entering. I am now going with Jenny and Jamie. I'm right here. Where do I go? Andy.
Please enter your height and shoes by pushing the boost button.
Yeah?
Shorter than 5.
I'm at medical with Jenny and Jamie. Okay. What is your name? What is your name?
Jamie.
What is your name?
Jenny.
What is your station?
Medical. Medical.
I have now asked them their question. What is your job on the mission?
To help people. To take care of people.
To take care of people. I am now entering. What do you want me to enter now? Press what thing? What? Thank you. I'm now with Drew and Heather. What are you guys doing? What? I can't hear you. What kind of weather can you expect in the near future?
Where's the satellite in?
What kind of weather do you... What is it? What kind of weather can you expect in the future? What kind of weather can you expect in the future?
Dust storms.
What?
Dust storms.
They said dust storms. Is predicting the weather on Mars much different than predicting the weather on Earth?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. They said yes. Is there anything happening now that we should know about?
Huh?
Is there anything happening right now that we should know about?
Dust storm.
Thank you. am now going to biology with Sonali and Sherrod. Andy, they said something to me. The computer keeps on talking to me. Okay. I'm asking you guys questions about. What is your job? What is your job? Yeah, what? Their job is biology. Is there any plant life on Mars? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Will we be able to grow plants on Mars soon? Will we be able to grow plants on Mars soon?
We don't know yet.
They don't know yet. Why or why not? Why or why not? They don't know. Look at Connie. Look at Connie. Thank you. Yeah? Okay. God, do they cool? What do I use this for?
That is just for you, for the director to be able to talk to you.
Vanessa. Who's the director here?
Attention Mars Base 1, this is your commander speaking. The meteorology team has detected a dust storm growing in the Argyre-Planitia region of Mars on the southern half of the planet. Right now it is not endangering our weather. Please continue with your activities. We'll keep you posted as the weather changes. That's all.
I'm now going to mineralogy. What do you do with that?
Seems like there's stupid rocks right there that I'm about
Good. Good. Cool. Look at Connie. What is your name?
Sky King.
Sky King. What is your job?
Find out rocks.
To find out rocks. Mineralogy. How do you classify the rocks on Mars?
What?
How do you classify the rocks on Mars?
I don't know. I don't know.
He doesn't know. Where would you find some of these rocks?
How am I supposed to know that yet? I'm still trying to do this.
I'm supposed to know. entering another. Okay.
Attention Mars Base 1, this is your commander speaking. Meteorology team has issued an update on that yellow alert. The storm is growing in severity. Right now, it's still not a danger to our weather. Please continue your activities. However, be prepared for an emergency evacuation should the need arise. EVA teams, we will go out, we'll collect stones
What are the rocks
only.
on
We're going to
Mars
do a quick
on the Mars
collection,
surface
then we
made
come
of?
back inside. That's all.
What are the rocks on Mars surface made of?
Sediments and stuff.
Sediments and stuff. I'm now in. Mediterranean. Where do I go?
Attention Mars Base 1, if I get you to switch over the communications team to EVA camera. Our first EVA specialist getting ready to step out onto the surface of Mars. I'm now switching over the
I
EVA
am now
radio
with Trent
so that you can hear what she's saying.
Interspace.
Has a big packet.
Trent, I'm with Trent, and he is entering Mars.
Already told you
Astronaut.
it's past 10 seconds.
Can you guys hear me?
What?
Ross? Has a big
Can anybody else hear me around here?
Yes, we can hear you. EVA 2, there you go. Now exit.
Yes.
That's it. EVA 2, step directly forward to the camera in front of you.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Could you close the door all the way, EVA 2, please? There you go, thank you. Now turn around again. EVA 2, wave to the camera. Wonderful. Do you have any messages for the people back home? Over. EVA 2, do you have any messages for the people back home?
I?
I copy that as hi. Wonderful. You'll be waiting
I am now
outside
with
for
Justin
EVA
and
1 to
Carrie.
join you to collect rocks.
What is your job?
Our job is to
I went
find
out.
out, look at Mars and
Hello, Connie. You're outside.
What's your job on top?
look.
what?
What's the name? Geology.
You can't see me.
What?
Connie's
What is your job?
Tell me when you're outside.
Look down on our.
Trent, tell me when you're outside.
We are geology. Look down on the satellite view screen and.
Wait, I have to ask you questions.
Connie, would you like to say anything to your parents?
Does
Hi.
EVA 1,
do Mars and Earth
base to EVA
have
1.
smaller
EVA 1,
geology,
please step up to the camera.
geological formations?
Turn to your left, sir. That's it.
What
Wave
do-
to the
they want
camera.
to know, what do you mean?
EVA 1, do you have any messages for the people back home? I copy
How
that
is
as
Mars
please help
different
me.
than Earth?
Okay, we'll send that back home for you, sir.
Yeah.
Mars is different than Earth because Mars is blue and Mars doesn't have any water, but Earth is more water than land. What are you turning it off?
Did you hear? What are some interesting formations on Mars?
What instrument?
What formations? Thank you. Now what's my answer? Does this really work?
Yeah, that radio works. You receive only. You cannot transmit back to him. He talks to you. You hear him over the earphone.
So I don't ever use this.
Yes, you use it as a receiver.
Off the top
You receiver to receive messages. That's how you transmit.
Okay. I am now going to see. Where? Okay. Yes. EVA, I am now entering with Brendan.
Attention Mars Base 1, this is your commander speaking. Your meteorology team has issued a red alert. I repeat, your meteorology team has issued a red alert. The dust storm is changing into a global dust storm. Follow all directions on your computer screens, turn off all your overhead lights, then shut down all your stations and evacuate into the command module. Let's move it, folks. This is not a drill. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hold on a minute. I can't hear you.
Please follow red alert procedures. Large dust storm approaching Mars Base 1. Dust storm impact in 1 minute, 30 seconds. Outside wind speed, 80 kilometers per hour.
Let's go, folks, let's go. Let's get those EVA specialists back to their stations. EVA team, back to your stations. I need the pilot up here.
Dust storm impact in 60 seconds.
What I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to switch over the outside monitoring station so we can get a visual of the storm. Give me just a second. All right, we should be getting an image now. Transmitting.
Dust storm impact.
All right, the storm's too big. We're going to have to evacuate. I need everybody on the crash positions on the floor. Everybody now. Ma'am, get ready to perform an emergency evacuation. Perform an emergency warm-up of the engines. Blast off.
Mars Base 1 has safely achieved orbit. All stations report minimal damage.
Okay, go ahead, stand again, everybody. Take a look at the computer screen up above. You'll see that that storm really has grown a lot. As a matter of fact, that right there near the center of the storm is where we just were just a few minutes ago. We had to blast up right through the middle of it. Pilot did an excellent job, don't you think? Hold on for a second. We got a message coming in here.
We have been monitoring your progress from Mission Control. Your mission has been a great success, and I know you will continue to work hard on your return to Earth. The information you have gathered today will pave the way for the future colonization of Mars. And more importantly, your research has given us a greater understanding and appreciation of our own planet and its fragile environment. Congratulations on a job well done. The nations of the Earth salute you. There will be a hero's welcome for you upon your return. Good luck and safe journey home.
Amazing. You don't always get a message from the president herself. President, yes. Now, you know what? I've been up here talking to the pilot for a while, and the pilot and I both agree this is a wonderful team, and we thought we'd show our appreciation to you for such a good job. She had a wonderful idea. And it's to give you a souvenir you can't get anywhere else anywhere else in the solar system. Ma'am, if you'd help give them the instructions here.
Where are you? On West Main Street, or following where you are.
Take your ID off with your left hand. Hold it up. We're gonna go down to the port wing. As you pass the first box, put your ID tag in that box. Then reach into the second box. Pull out your Mars crystal food pin. This is our way of saying thank you. And a mission well done.